Welcome back to another episode of Amazing Kitchen. Today we're making pork chop and tomato. So this one is something I also grew up with. I always love this dish. It's quite tender because of the pork chop. Lots of flavor from the tomato. So let's see how this is done. We start with some pork chop, bone in like these. And then we season this and we put this aside. Then we flour it. So before we start, we don't want to hammer this meat. We leave it just so that it's plump when it's ready. Then we quickly give it 2 slits right at the vein area. So this prevents the pork chop from curling when you deep fry this. Now once this is done, we season it with a little of salt on both sides. Good. And we also need some grounded black pepper. This recipe is very simple. This is just regular all-purpose flour, and we just dip this in the flour and we coat both sides very well. So this will dry up the pork chop and allow it to have a little amount of crust when we pan frying this. Now we put the pork chop right back in here while it's seasoning. We have some spring onions, as you can see, and tomato and onions as well. So we just give these a quick cut. Doesn't have to be super small. This size is just perfect because we will need it to stir fry later. Then we have our onions. We split this into 4. That's all that is needed. Great. Then our tomato. We split this also into 4s. We have some garlic right here we will need to chop. So doesn't have to be fine. So just cut to help release some of that juice and get that going, because garlic has a lot of nutrients. We got those cut. Then we have some ketchup right here. Some Chinese cooking wine. Salt and sugar. Alright, now let's move to frying our pork chop. Then we can move to stir frying our vegetable. Then make that the sauce and put the pork chop right back in, and it's all great. So we just need is 1 wok. That's all is needed. Okay, now our skillet is warm. Now we just need some peanut oil. Now we get our pork chop. We just layer it in. Get the excess flour off. Alright, great. As you can see, our pork chop has golden up very nicely. It forms a beautiful crust on it. Now this crust will help us absorb the flavor from all the tomato and everything that we'll be adding. So now it's time to take it out. We put it on a plate and give it a rest. We don't have to put this to waste. Now we use the same oil with the flavor of the pork chop, and we stir fry our garlic together with our onion in this. So we start by putting our garlic, then our onions. You smell the aroma starting to release. We can add the salt. Then we can add some sugar. The aroma is very nice. It's releasing right now. Now we can add our cooking wine. Our tomato sauce. Or ketchup, if you like to call it. The aroma is just amazing. Now we can add the tomato to this. Now we have 2 cups of water. We add it to lower the temperature and allow it to stew for a little while. now we bring this back up to temperature, cover it for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we check on it again. Up, because the skin is coming off. So now what we do is we can add our scallions to it. So now we can cook this slightly to allow it to release flavor. Now is also the time to add our pork chop back to finish off the cooking. So we just layer it anyhow you like. Just put it in. Now we give this another cover for another 5 minutes, then we'll check on it. Let's check on our pork chop mixture. Ooh, nice. Now let's give it a try to make sure that the flavor is balanced as how we expect it to be. Wow, just right. Don't need anything else. So I've made a cornstarch mix right here. This will help thicken up the sauce and make this ready for plating. Our sauce will start to thicken up. That is exactly how we like it. So now this will have a nice sauce to our dish. We can pour it over our rice, our noodles, our pasta, of any choice that you like. Alright, now we can turn off the heat. And finally, for a touch of flavor, we add some sesame oil. We stir that in. Remember, never to heat sesame oil to high temperature or else it'll turn bitter and it won't taste good anymore. So right at finishing, you turn off the heat and you add it in. It's the perfect time to do this. Now let's move to plating. Right, we got our pork chop. Just stack them nicely. Then we pour the sauce over it. Alright, now this is complete. Now look how beautiful this is. Now let's give this a try. Got myself my plate. Now let's see if we can find our pork chop. We got a piece right here on the top. Take this out. Get a piece of tomato as well. Good stuff. Now we got our pork chop. Now let's give it a try. Where should I start? Let's give it a cut right down the center to see if this is cooked through. Oh yes. As you can see, the meat is white. This is a thick piece of pork chop, but it's nice and moist. Now let's reduce this slightly and give this a try. Wow. It's tender. It's nice. Very balanced. We got some tomato flavor. We got the saltiness of our meat and seasoning. Everything is perfect. Now let's try a tomato with a piece of pork chop. Now this is very warm. Be careful. A fresh aroma from a tomato and a pork chop. It's just a married, made in heaven. Great. Better than restaurant. Making this home will make the chefs jealous. Alright, thank you for watching. If you like what you see today, remember to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button above. And if you're already a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell button so you won't miss any of our episodes. So if you have any requests in the future, what you'd like to see on our show, remember to comment below and let us know what you'd also like to see. Alright, until next time, have a good day. Bye now.